The madness continues, ladies and gentlemen. The madness continues with this whole GameStop saga. It's been absolutely crazy in the stock market the last couple days, the last week or so. Started with what Wall Street Bets has done in terms of identifying a heavily shorted stock and making the hedge funds pay for shorting the stock so much. In that stock is GameStop. They've pressured other stocks such as AMC. That's another big one. Nokia didn't do quite as much. That was their next target, but obviously they got kind of canceled, which is a very scary thing. That did stop. That was something that these trading companies could do, even after people from the SEC said it wasn't inherently a problem. And of course now, they're kind of saying, oh, it's a problem. But this is a lesson that the hedge fund managers need to learn. If you don't know entirely what I'm talking about, I made a video yesterday. Go ahead and pause this one and check that video out. This is kind of going to go over further details that were not covered. We're going to look at people who are on the payroll of these hedge fund companies, and also just the hedge funds' stupidity in general, and how they don't learn and how they kind of need to learn this lesson, and that these massive companies need to be punished for the things they've done, shutting down trading, like at Robinhood. He made the CEO at Robinhood, I forget what his name is. We can look it up real quick. Robinhood's CEO. He made like $6.7 billion just from the volatility over the course of the last year alone. But the second volatility works negatively towards, says limited buy-in to protect the firm and protect our customers. The volatility benefits everyday people. Of course, it becomes a problem. This is a lie. If nothing else, this damaged their firm. You have people like Dave Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports, who is really coming at Robinhood, and for a good reason. I mean, what they have done is and should be viewed as illegal. They aren't protecting their firm. They damage their firm, and they're not protecting their customers. And there's been proof that they've been selling some of the stocks that these people hold in these companies without even asking the people who hold these stocks. So it's absolutely crazy. People need to pay for this, whether it's the CEO, whoever it is. Someone needs to own up to this, and it really needs to be shut down. But a beautiful thing we see today is GameStop back up another 50%. As you guys saw, kind of a dip going on yesterday, down to 132, and there was nothing they could do about it because they were being forced for it to go this low to help the shorting, the hedge funds that have been shorting these stocks. So it's absolutely crazy. They got some of their money back, but then you look at an article like this: GameStop short sellers are still not surrendering despite $20 billion in losses. They didn't learn. They're not learning because they know that they're protected by these, whether it's the SEC or whoever it may be, the government in general. They're just going to get bailed out. They're not going to learn. They're going to keep doing what they're doing unless this lesson gets to be allowed to continue. Have suffered $19.75 billion year to date in brick and mortar video game retailer GameStop, and that's not to mention any of these other companies that they've been shorting that they are now losing money on. Still, short sellers mostly are holding on to their bearish positions, or they are being replaced by new hedge funds willing to bet against the stocks. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable because it's if they're going to get bailed out, it's essentially no risk to them. So I guess I don't necessarily blame them for making that move, but at the same time, it's crazy that that's the reality of the stock market today. That they can just do this without much of any risk because they're going to get babied and they're going to get taken care of by whoever it may end up being. GameStop shares that have been borrowed and sold short have declined by just about 5 million over the last week, marking an 8% dip in short interest according to S3. Most of the short covering occurred on Thursday when the stock fell for the first time in 6 days because they were being protected. It's unbelievable that they are allowed to do this. It's unbelievable. Only 8% sold out on Thursday. Only 8%, because these other people know that they're okay. They're going to be all right. It's absolutely crazy. And then you look at who's on the payroll. You have Janet Yellen on the payroll. I believe she's the Treasury Secretary. Yeah, she was just sworn in as the Treasury Secretary, and she made almost $1 million just to talk about this situation. Essentially, she said that they were watching it. And you know what that means? The government's going to take care of them. That's what that means. White House Press Secretary John Psaki, I don't know how to say his name. It shouldn't be a surprise that Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was paid to speak to Wall Street, including a hedge fund involved in GameStop. $810,000 by hedge fund Citadel for 3 events in 2019 and 2020. The firm reportedly infused $2 billion into Melvin Capital Management, a hedge fund hammered by losses in GameStop's struggle waged by smaller investors. Separate from GameStop issue, the Secretary of Treasury is one of the world-renowned experts on the market, on the economy. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone she was paid to give her perspective and advice before she came into office. Before she came in to be the Treasury Secretary, I should say. I mean, it's just, it shows the corruption. I don't care who you support. I really don't. This is not a politics channel, but it shows the corruption of our government. And like I said, it doesn't matter who's the president. It could be Biden. It could be President Trump. It could be anybody. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be that level of corruption, and it's absolutely insane that how many people have their hands in the cookie jar, so to speak, of these hedge funds. And they're just, like I said, they're protected. That's why you see articles like this. They don't care. 8% of them are the only ones that care. And I guarantee most of these companies are still in it. They just, may have lowered their position a little bit to see that there was some sort of repercussion for it. I mean, I've never agreed with Elizabeth Warren or AOC on anything, but you have Elizabeth Warren saying for years the same hedge funds, private equity firms, and wealthy investors dismayed by the GameStop trades have treated the stock market like their own personal casino while everyone else pays the price. Warren said it's long past time for the SEC and other financial regulators to wake up and do their jobs. And with a new administration and Democrats running Congress, I intend to make sure they do. Whether this last part is true, I don't know. But I mean, it's wild. It's absolutely crazy. You have the farthest right people agreeing with the farthest left people on this situation, and it's absolutely crazy that they're allowed to do this and not have any repercussions. I mean, their hands are in the cookie jar. We caught them, but is anything going to happen? Probably not. The only thing I hope happens is that GameStop goes to the moon. As of the recording of this video, it's starting to drop a little bit. I hate to see that. I hope it just takes off again. I mean, let's see it get to 1,000. Is it still a safe? Is it still a very risky play? Very much so. I would not recommend anybody potentially jumping in on the hype, but I mean, I hope it goes to the moon for those everyday investors that have money in this stock. I hope it goes to the moon. I hope you guys all become millionaires, and let's stick it to those hedge fund managers. So, I mean, that's going to do it for this video, guys. It's been a wild week, but I've returned, and we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. So if you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel as we continue our climb to 1,000 subscribers. We're going to continue producing more great content, content by the people, for the people. Hopefully everyone has a great weekend, and I'll catch you next time.